What's happening, YouTube? Happy Thanksgiving. It's Lamont Tyson back in the building with that living legend. His name is Living Legend Larry, in here to do the Lamont and Larry Educated Politics Show with a sprinkle of entertainment. My brother, Living Legend, how you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I have my glass filled up, my tumbler filled up.
Uh-oh. What's in that cup, brother? What's in that cup?
I have pink grapefruit organic Italian soda.
Oh, okay. That's not gonna that ain't gonna hurt nobody. That's not gonna
Nah,
hurt anybody. Yeah, you can
nah.
get away with that. I feel you on that. And so Larry, me shout out all the people that come to watch us. They could be doing anything on God's green earth. And you know what, Larry? I sometimes feel for and considering the things that have happened in this country
Yeah.
that we're supposed to be leading the world, but hell, we don't want to be leading them in a statistic called mass shootings. Damn, man, this ain't no banana republic, or at least they have us thinking it's not a banana
Yeah.
republic. And we'll get to that in a minute. Shout out to everyone that comes through and show us some love. It's Thursday. A lot of people are traveling, and we still got people showing us a lot of love. Be sure to download the podcast. Anytime me and Larry or anyone I bring on my channel, we go live, I do make it available on the podcast, so go check it out. And me and Larry both do have social media accounts. Go check us both out. Links are in description. Like this video, share with friends. Larry, the way we do our Wednesdays, I've got a list. They've got special numbers, and I will give you what they say. So the numbers you'll be picking tonight, Larry, you'll be picking 2 through 5, and let me read to you what's on the list.
All right.
It's Larry. This is a fucked up list, bro. Bro, listen to this. Okay, white young racist got that hammer for Biden. That's one of them. America, home of the mass shooting.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Leary says people should be happy they're in poverty.
What?
Because of the great domain of capitalism.
Oof.
Boy, you know
Wow.
I'm gonna have jokes for his milk dud white ass head. Wait till we get to that part.
I can't believe he said that.
Oh,
No, I shouldn't say I can't believe he said that. It's a shame that he did.
I got the coverage, my brother. I got the coverage. He said it.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Larry, name 2 T's that don't go together.
2 T's that don't go together?
Mhm.
Trump and taxes.
You know what? That's another one. I was actually talking about Trump and Twitter, but we can call it the new 3T, not Michael Jackson's nephews, but Trump, Twitter, and taxes. None of them go together, and we're going to be breaking that down. Shout out to Tressa C, who is begging, pleading for us to get T-Streams back up here, and I will let her know I did holler at my man, and you might be seeing him on a Lamont Life Game stream very soon. Shout out to Leonore. Shout out to my brother Big Buzz, Samara. Peaceful ladies in the building giving us a smile or a cry. And we're going to get into this thing. So Larry.
I also, before you get going, I have to give a shout out to that just real smooth Jackson's Kids reference right there with the 3 T's, boy. You went old school on that one. That one went, I'm sure that just went glided right over people's heads. They didn't even catch that.
Bruh, look, I'm an 80s baby, Larry. I'm an 80s baby, man. You know how I get down. So, Larry, having said all those things, there's one thing I didn't tell you about that we're going to be reviewing at the very end as the palate cleanser, because we're going to need it after this day. We're going to definitely need it. Yeah. So, Larry, pick a number, 2 through 5.
2 through 5. Let's go with number 3.
Oh. You love picking the ones that get people fired up early, don't you?
I think it's just natural. I just gravitate towards them.
Here we go. Larry and my audience. A lot of us know that capitalism has crony parts.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know that one of the reasons I absolutely can never vote Republican is because of their hypocriticism toward capitalism and acting like it's a perfect system. When damn that, it is not a perfect system. I mean, it's damn near you making little kings out of the kingdom. Kevin O'Leary, ladies and gentlemen, he makes the case that people should be happy for being in poverty because of the construct of human beings called capitalism. I can't make this stuff up. Take a look at this trailer, and then we're going to buzz his big fat head to the white meat. Here we go.
Last week, Kevin and I discussed an Oxfam report that contained a startling statistic that the world's richest 85 people hold precisely the same wealth as the 3.5 billion poorest people. Now, if you saw the show, you won't be surprised to hear we got a rather large response. If you didn't, you'll understand why I got so much attention in just a moment. Let's start with part of our conversation from last week. The combined wealth, this is according to Oxfam, of the world's 85 richest people is equal to the 3.5 billion poorest people.
It's fantastic. And this is a great thing because it inspires everybody, gets the motivation to look up to the 1% and say, I want to become one of those people. I'm going to fight hard to get up to the top. This is fantastic news, and of course I applaud it. What can be wrong with this?
Really?
Yes, really.
So somebody living on
I celebrate capitalism.
$1 a day in Africa is getting up in the morning and saying, I'm going to be Bill Gates.
That's the motivation everybody needs.
Only thing between me and
I'm
that
not
guy
against
is
charity.
motivation. I just need to pull up my socks. I don't have socks. Okay, well, let's start with the obvious, because even for you, that came off sounding a little bit rude. You do not think it's fantastic that people are poor. That's not what you meant to say at all.
No, I don't think poverty is fantastic. I don't think income disparity is fantastic. What I think is how successful capitalism has been over the last 100 years, reducing poverty and reducing income disparity. In the last 30 years, the number of people living on this globe in extreme poverty has been reduced from 42% down to 17%. Amanda, I want you to thank capitalism for that, because that's how it happened.
Yeah, I mean, I knew where you were going even as we were having the conversation. You were focused on the wealthy and why that's a good thing. It's a mistake, though, that people make, and I would say people on a certain part of the spectrum who feel as though somehow focusing anywhere else is somehow anti-capitalist, anti-wealth. It isn't. To say the disparity is growing. So the fact that there are wealthy people, the Oxfam report actually makes the point that they're concerned there's something systemic about this. It's not that wealth is bad, it's not a zero-sum game, but that the disparity grows larger because the wealthy are controlling the systems, and that is the problem that we may need to address.
You know,
Larry, that Anglo-Saxon sister hit it right on the head. It is very easy for you to say capitalism is the greatest system in the world when you've placated capitalism. You've injected steroids into capitalism. You've figured out the nooks and crannies of how to get ahead that you don't really tell nobody. And then your dumbass got the nerve to say that poor people should be looking up to the wealthy. Last I checked, the same Christian Republicans swear that the only thing you should be looking up to is Jesus Christ himself. But now, Larry, everything I've always told you with these people, it is about the money. It is about power. And she hit the nail on the head. The issue here is capitalism has reduced some poverty, some. But the problem is capitalism also created the biggest disparity and divide in classes ever in history. Ever. Yeah. So while he glosses over that and sounds poetic, waxing his bald ass damn head, you need to shave the rest of that shit off. You got that much money, you should have hair plugs like Elon got. But anyway, it makes no damn sense that we sit here and listen to these people that give money to charity to ease their own damn conscience about how they have manipulated the capitalistic system, played in the gray, oftentimes broke laws to get where they're at, and then want to sit on their damn high horse, and he just did it, and point down at you poor people and tell you to work 1,100 jobs, don't take no vacation, damn don't have no kids because we don't want you to take no time off for that. And if you just pray to God and look up to us who is your God, you too shall be rich. And Larry, that mindset, that fake ability to think you're going to one day be like them is what's got this country in trouble with the GOP. Floor is yours, my brother Larry.
The thing that's really bad about that attitude and that way of thinking, it's not just how ridiculous it is that, oh, people should be looking up to the 1%. They should be looking up to people who are rich and aspiring to be that. It assumes that everybody wants to be like you. And that's not the case. Not only does it assume that everybody wants to be like you, for everyone, when these people like him, they live in this false world where they think that everybody has the same opportunities that they do and the same opportunities that they had. And that's simply not true in this country or in other countries. And so but when they believe that, they think to themselves, oh, if these people have not reached the level of success financially or otherwise that I have, it's because it's their own fault. And that's where they start. That's where they go wrong. They truly believe in some of them know better, but they say it and they go along with it. They make themselves believe it because it makes them feel good. But the fact of the matter is they start to believe, well, you didn't succeed because you didn't work hard, or you didn't succeed because you weren't smart, or you didn't succeed because you were lazy, or you didn't succeed because you didn't want to, when the fact of the matter is that everybody does not have the same opportunities that everyone else does. You and I can attest to that both here on YouTube. Both of us have been putting in hard work, grinding for years and years and years. And we've seen our white counterparts not have to deal with the same stuff that we've had to deal with, getting flagged, getting all kinds of racist stuff we have to contend with in our comments section, and then watch the algorithm pick them up and elevate their channels while ours have remained stagnant. And that's just a small little microcosm of what stuff happens. We're not even talking about people that may be absolutely brilliant that can't get their foot in the door in business or in tech or in any other kind of field that they're in. They may work just as hard, be just as smarter, and they just don't have the opportunities. And some people simply don't want to be rich like that. I have not had a desire to be rich. I have always had the desire to be fabulously middle class. That's where I have seen what money has done to people. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't appreciate what money can do for people. There are certain things that if someone said, we're going to let you have whatever you want that the wealthy people have, you can pick one thing. For me, it would probably be, well, if it was one thing, it would probably be a really nice house. But other than that, I would probably take like a private jet. Because I get it. Money can buy certain things like that. But I've never had the desire to be wealthy because I've seen the way wealth destroys families. I've seen the way it rips apart people where they hate each other. They're angry because somebody has more of something that somebody else wants, or they don't share enough of it, or they share too much of it and people go broke. It's money. Money is great when it's used properly. The problem is it is so rarely used properly.
Larry makes some fantastic points, and I'll put a button on it by making another point and then just kind of talking about what you can do no matter where you live at. So number one, Larry hit the nail on the head when he talked about opportunity. If you're living in America and you're an African American, and I'm speaking directly to the plight of African Americans, there are other people who have oppressed issues too, such as women, such as the Asians, such as other folks. But I'm speaking in particular to African Americans and the history of what this country has done to us. We oftentimes say that as a Black American, you have to be 2 times better than your white counterparts because they don't have to overcome barriers to opportunity, such as being stopped by the police and getting killed. They have an advantage called white privilege. They have an advantage that the majority of what's in power and rich is white guys. All that begs to give you more opportunity to grow and network amongst your people. And then they're ahead of us in the education of what makes this country tick. And I'm not talking about the book stuff. I'm talking about the good old boy networking clubs where they'll sit there and tell you, hey, homeboy, you break this law, here's your risk. You might make $5 million And then if you get caught, you're only going to have to do 12 years probation. Okay. And you done built somebody a $2 million a Ponzi scheme. But them black folks over there, we going to catch that nigger with a dime bag of weed, put his ass in jail for 20 years. Okay. So these are barriers that a lot of African Americans have to face in dealing with poverty that he didn't have to face. And not all of them, because I do believe the majority of people that make their money, they save it, invest, and get to be rich. That's the average person, not these outliers like Kevin O'Leary. But when you get to where you're at, also don't get like him and forget where you came from. And for those of you that are experiencing the barriers, all I'll say to you is this: what are you going to do? Stick your head in the sand and be depressed? No. You get out and you fight the same fight that they have fought. Just know that you're going to have to do it probably 2 times better than them, network 2 times better than them, and surround yourself with people who understand what your mission is and where you're trying to go, and try to make it happen, and have those good people in your corner to ease the pain. You see me up here with Larry, you see me up here with B. Avery, and you see me out here with my audience all the time talking about the different things I'm doing to help me overcome some of these barriers that are thrown in my face.
Now, here's the other thing too. Now, and when I say this, I'm not dinging all financial people, because there are some financial people out there that are fun, that are wonderful people who invest in projects. Some of them are angel investors. Some people are just straight up hardcore greedy investors. Some people are just modern investors. I'm not talking about all financial people, but some of these folks like O'Leary, dude, they don't create anything in this world. He's not a Bill Gates or a Tyler Perry or Elon Musk or anybody. He doesn't create anything. All he does is make money off the backs of other people's creations. That's what they do. That's what a lot of people do in the financial industry. They just make money off of what other people have already invented and created. There are other people
called venture capitalists. It's called venture capitalists for those that don't know.
And there's other people who donate. No, I shouldn't say donate, but they invest their money so that other people can create. Because sometimes you need money to actually get your creations out there. But some people just buy and trade, and that's fine. But you're not really creating anything. But I just, it really bothers me sometimes when I hear people talk like that, because we really just don't have all those same opportunities. And a lot of times, even when people have opportunities, some things that hold folks back, poor folks, minority folks, whoever, is that sometimes it's just a lack of knowledge. If you've always had the desire to be a business owner, and maybe you're like, okay, I'm going to work my butt off and I'm going to save myself 80 grand so I can go buy a business and get it going, or I'm going to buy a franchise or something. So you work hard, you work 2-3 jobs, save for years and years and years, you get your money together, then you go buy a business. Whereas your white counterpart, who may have already had friends or colleagues or parents, whoever else that own businesses and understand how things work, they may have been like, you don't need to save 80 grand. You could save a certain portion of that, put it in the bank, get a secured loan, and buy your business, and you're good. You don't need to pay the whole thing up front, or even if you have all the money because you saved it all, you don't have to spend it all and buy the whole business outright. You can still put it in the bank, get a secured loan, and earn interest off that money that you saved up and still have your business. And if your business fails, the bank doesn't want your business to fail, but if it does, the loan's secure. They're just going to take the money that you already saved. There's lots of ways to do it that people just don't always know about. I just, part of it's knowledge and part of it is stuff, but the part is you have to know that it's even out there. Some people don't know what they don't know. And I just think when you start talking about, everybody should do this, you should be looking up to the 1%. I don't look up to the 1%. When I'm supposed to look up to Harvey Weinstein, I also look up to Donald Trump. I'm supposed to look up to Ghislaine Maxwell and all the rest of Prince Andrew, all the rest of these freaking perverts and lunatics and all. I don't want to look up to those folks. For what? For what? What do they have? What do they have that as a 1%er that you can't have as just a solid middle class person? I mean, I can still visit the same places in the world. I can still eat at the same restaurants if I want to. Sure, it may hurt my pocketbook a little bit more than yours. It doesn't mean I can't go. And most of the places that you can go, all the exclusive places, I don't want to be in those places. I don't want to be in country clubs where people are kept out.
One thing Larry is saying that I think everyone should adopt the mindset as you grow and grow your wealth and become older, make life more about the experiences versus the things you own. If you're owning things, try to make sure that most of the things you own are assets and allow the money you blow or money you spend, I guess, on leisure to be maybe taking vacations with friends, taking vacations with families, doing an experience, something you can take with you mentally, have photos. That is going to be way more gratifying than buying 3 different Teslas, 6 different Lamborghinis, 9 Lear jets, and all. To do something fun with the people you care about and yourself. And
right.
Having said that, go ahead, Larry.
I was gonna say, you know, when you get out there too, travel, get amongst the people, have fun. And I understand people travel in different ways. People enjoy their leisure time in different ways. I have no problem with that. But I have gone places and I've seen so many times where you have people from Western countries that they have this idea, well, I want to have all this luxury. And they'll be in these fabulous countries on a bus. They're looking at stuff from an air-conditioned bus. And I get it. If you're old and you can't move around freely, great. But other than that, some of the best times I've ever had is when my wife and I have been traveling and we are just walking the streets in some country and just bumping into random people and having conversations where they tell us to go see something that the tourists don't normally see because maybe it's not a tourist spot, but it's still something very cool. And we run and we're walking by and smell something fantastic and go and get some wonderful, some wonderful food somewhere. That's nothing. I don't need to look up to the so-called 1% to have that experience. I just need to be out there and doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on. Post your comments on how do you feel about Kevin O'Leary basically saying poor people should be happy they're poor because it gives them an opportunity from the bottom of the barrel to look up at the rich and envy them.
That's straight lunacy, man.
Yeah. You heard him say it. I ain't make this stuff up. They be quick to try to say you're making up crap. Let me shout out the super chatters in the building. Number 1, the big homie, Will, Guru of Relaxation. Shout outs out with $5. I appreciate that, homie. And then let me check out Big Buzz 703. Oh my God, I forgot Buzz is a Cowboys fan. What the hell, man? Golly, Buzz, come on, man. Don't you stay in VA? You should be a Commanders fan, not the Cowgirls. God Almighty! Man. Shout out to him.
I don't think he's really a Cowboys fan, man. I think people who say they're Cowboys fans, they do that because they like to be, they like to be provocative. I don't think there's anybody who's really a Cowboys fan except for maybe like maybe Brandon because he lives in Texas. That's about it.
Yeah. No, Larry, the biggest fan base in the world is Dallas Cowboys, so he could be a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I know.
Eric Iverson said, off topic, have you guys seen Tulsa King? It's really good. Also, a lot of folks told me they're not watching Creed due to what Stallone said. I'm watching Creed. Matter of fact, the last topic we're going to cover is the Creed 3 trailer tonight, so you stick around for that. Nita the Diva is reviewing the show, and she said it's absolutely good. And Larry, let me give my super chatters a new video I found from a Virginia. What does she do in Virginia? She is a councilwoman in Virginia. This will make you laugh. She got mad. So this is my thank you to you people for the super chat.
And what's happening, and I hope you make your decision when November comes. I'm pissed as a motherfucker. Yeah, I'ma say it. I'm mad as a motherfucker.
Hold on, Councilwoman.
I am. Because I know what's been going on. I know somebody came to my office and asked me to deal with this stuff because they've been asked to be paid $3,000.
I'm going to recess this meeting right now.
I'm sick of it.
Fired up.
Hey, I don't want to make her mad, but if I live in her district, I know I got me a rebel. I got me a fighter if she in my district.
Yeah, she's going to go to bat for you. She's going to go to bat for you.
All right, Larry. So we got 2, 4, and 5. Where you going next?
Let's see, 2, 4, and 5. Let's go with number 5. Uh-oh. We have another super chat.
Let me come through with my man super chat real quick. Buzz said, I was born in Corpus Christi, Texas. I am a Cowboy fan. I appreciate that. Yeah, man, I told you.
Man.
The world is loaded with Cowboy fans. And
you know what I say to that, Buzz? You know what I say to that? I say everybody in their life is allowed one major flaw.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry picked number 5, and this story takes place 30 miles away from where I live. White young racists got that hammer for Joe Biden. The Republicans will have you believe that the nation is lawless, all because of Democrat policies. As if their ass is not in control and running things too as politicians. As if they don't have Twitter and allow people to say bull jive and get their people fired up, and then all of a sudden want to step back from it. Hey, I ain't make him do that shit. I ain't make him do it.
You know?
Well, Larry, this is a case of that right here in North Carolina that happened just this week. Take a look at this and listen to the stuff that this punk says. Just listen. Here we go.
All right, Michelle, thank you. And the Stokesdale man accused of making death threats against FBI agents was in federal court today in Winston-Salem. Our Ford Hatchett was in the courtroom. And Ford, what did we learn today?
Yeah. Hey, good afternoon, Lindsay. First things first, Stephen Williams is going to remain detained. The judge today ruling in federal court that there is probable cause for this case to continue and saying that she worried if Williams was conditionally released, probation officers and the public at large could be put at risk. The grand jury is going to meet on November the 28th to determine whether Williams will be indicted. One of the FBI task force officers who was part of Williams' arrest testified today that agents seized multiple weapons from Williams' home, including 2 .308 caliber semi-automatic rifles, along with other firearms. He called FBI agents enemy combatants and said, quote, "I'm ready to shoot expletive FBI agents, CIA agents, and any federal law enforcement officer working for Joe Biden." And in transcripts read into evidence today, called law enforcement officers not the brightest bulbs in the box, and then addressed any FBI agent who may approach them, saying, quote, "You're going to be an expletive memory, an obituary. I'll let your kids and wives live, but I'm burning everything you own," end quote, going on to call himself John Rambo, but smaller. FBI agents and the Guilford County deputies arrested Williams on Friday morning while he was driving his car. The sheriff deputy who transported Williams to be booked was wearing a body camera, and the FBI agent testified today that in the car, Williams was very chatty, including telling the sheriff deputy, quote, "I'm not blaming you. You're just doing your job to keep me from killing 2 FBI agents." And on the stand, the FBI agent also testified that Williams sent an email to WXII 12 News prior to his arrest. That email prompted station management to contact law enforcement authorities last week. Williams' fiance also took the stand today and called him the best man she knows, but did say we all know what his problem is. He talks too much. In studio tonight, Ford Hatchett, WXII 12 News.
Wow.
The fuck? But the girlfriend says, we all know his problem. He talks too much. No, Woody Woodpecker talked too much. This got to be.
Wow.
Larry, here we go. Had this been a black person, he wouldn't even have been able to get away with that much.
No.
He wouldn't have been able to get away with that much. They would have took his damn guns. And did you hear the weaponry this dude had? This dude had a mini artillery in his house.
I did. They wouldn't have arrested him. They would have lit him up. They'd have pulled him over, and they would have said, well, he already made threats against all these agents, so we thought that he was going to kill us. So when he moved, we just assumed he was going for a gun. So we just emptied all of our clips, reloaded, emptied them again just to make sure. You know? See,
Larry, this is what we're dealing with. This is the story of yin and yang in America. They would, right wing would have you believe that all this lawlessness is caused by Democrats. Larry, we've had 600 mass shootings this year. 600.
Damn.
Ask me what percentage was done by African Americans.
Oh, God. I don't know. 2%?
10.
Okay. Man.
Ask me what percentage was done by white, male, mostly Republicans.
Oh, geez. The other 90?
86% of these mass shootings. And you got this nut job running around here, just like the other nut job that left North Carolina, went up to the pizza parlor thinking that Hillary Clinton had little girls in the basement, shot up the place. He basically got a slap on the wrist. And I hope that this dude right here don't just get a damn slap on the wrist, Larry. He even emailed the news station, and it so frightened them that they had to call the police. Larry, what the hell are we going to do about this? It's to America. To America.
It's so over the top and ridiculous and egregious that I bet you his attorneys are going to come off with something like, oh, he wasn't serious. He was just making jokes and talking about stuff on social media, or he has undiagnosed schizophrenia or something. They're going to come up with something to get this dude off. He's not going to he's not going to do a bunch of time. He's not doing a bunch of time. I wouldn't be surprised if the only time that he does is like this initial time that he's in there while he's getting evaluated. And then they'll probably drop the charge and move on.
Are they going to take his guns?
Yeah, they'll probably take his guns. They might try and say he has like some sort of undiagnosed mental health issues. And because he'll have to be, they may say, well, we have to commit him for a period of time to evaluate him. Then they'll turn around and say, well, he's been committed for, in the last, in the last 7 years, if you've been committed, you can't buy a gun. So they'll probably say, well, he's been committed, so he can't have his guns back. And that'll be it.
Larry, I don't want to hear that shit, man. I don't want to hear that shit. I'm tired of an incongruent legal system. If you want to come down on crime the way you claim you do, when these people like this get busted and caught and using words the way they did with real actions behind it, their ass need to be under the bus. Send a message, because the punishment is not just about the person committing the crime. It's also about sending the message to others that we're not going to tolerate this. We're not going to tolerate it. And when Ronald Reagan came out with his war on crack, that was to punish black people, because he damn sure could have came out with a war on cocaine, because what do you think crack is made from? But he ain't say that, because who was using the cocaine? Okay.
I hear you.
So again, if all these crimes and shootings that were happening in America was being done by black folks, they probably would go to everybody's house with a damn Magneto-sized metal detector and take your damn gun, okay? So I don't want to hear no more. Like the legal system needs to start getting congruent for everybody, or we're going to continue to have problems, all right? And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's a sad situation. It is truly a sad situation, not just because it keeps happening, but also because our justice system keeps on letting these people go without any real serious consequences, to the point that there's no reason for them not to keep doing it. There's no when people look back and they see, oh, this person did it and they got away with it, or this person did it and they only got a slap on the wrist, or this person did it but all their charges were dropped after they went through some whatever program. And so there's no reason for them not to do it. Well, if this were a black person, they probably would not even have been taken in alive. They probably would have been killed, because they would have been viewed as some horrible threat. And even if they were arrested and they got sent to court, the consequences would be so dire and severe that we would probably never hear from that person again. It's ridiculous. But they're going to look at this little smiling white dude, and they're going to think to themselves, okay, well, this seems like such a nice guy. We don't want to ruin his future. We don't want to ruin his future because he got a little riled up. And they're going to sit up there and say, well, it's not just him. Look at all the people that went to the Capitol. They got riled up too. He was manipulated, and he was just able to, he fell subject to the same sort of manipulations that all those people did. It could have happened to anybody. That's what they're going to say. It could have happened to anybody, and he can't be held responsible for that. He was taken advantage of, and they're going to let him go.
Oh, yeah. I can't even jaywalk with one shoe off before they come and football tackle me and arrest me. But this dude get to threaten the FBI agent.
I can't even walk down the street in my own neighborhood, following all the laws, watching people jaywalk while I'm crossing the street on the walk sign in the crosswalk without getting harassed, man. So
it's crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like the video, download the podcast if you ever miss us or you just want to take us while you're driving. That's the Life Gains podcast. Link is in the description. We both do have social media links, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm up there as well. Larry is too. His link is in the description. Go check us out. Number 2 or number 4, Larry. Both of them are they both equally as bad, but they both pretty sick.
Let's go with number 4.
Number 4, ladies and gentlemen. America, home of the mass shooting. A massacre is what we should be calling this place. Not America, a massacre. This week, within a 7-day period, we've had 2 more mass shootings, one in Colorado and one right here where Larry lives and my folk Buzz live. Buzz even said that where the shooting in Walmart happened was like 4 or 5 minutes away from his parents' crib. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at this and then we'll talk about it.
Breaking news, police say at least 5 people are dead after a shooting at a Colorado Springs nightclub.
The shooting happened just before midnight at Club Q. That's an LGBTQ nightclub. Another 18 people were injured in that shooting. According to authorities, Colorado Springs police say they have a suspect in custody. That person is currently being treated at an area hospital.
Moving forward, we have numerous homicide detectives on scene. They'll be processing the scene. This scene is going to take some time to get through, so we will be here for many, many hours to come.
So far, police have declined to speak about a possible motive, but the club put out this statement. Club Q is devastated by this senseless attack on our community. Our prayers and thoughts are with all the victims and their families and friends. We thank the quick reactions of heroic customers that subdued the gunman and ended this hate attack.
New details on a deadly mass shooting at a Virginia Walmart.
Chesapeake investigators confirm 6 victims are dead in what is now the country's second high-profile shooting in the past week.
News 6's Mark Lehman is here now. And Mark, the chief of police just gave an update this morning.
Yeah, the chief confirming the shooter was an employee at this Walmart, saying he shot at least 10 people at the store late last night. Right now, detectives are still in the beginning stages of gathering evidence as an investigation into the mass shooting is underway. It was around 10:15 last night when police responded to a call for a shooting at a Walmart in Chesapeake, Virginia. When officers arrived to the active shooter situation, the gunfire stopped. Over the next 45 minutes, police say several victims were found. In the last hour, the chief said 6 people were killed and 4 were taken to the hospital with unknown conditions. He told us the gunman worked at the Walmart but couldn't confirm reports that he was a manager. The chief also said the shooter likely killed himself before officers moved in.
And the suspect is dead from what we believe was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The Chesapeake Police SWAT team executed a search warrant at the suspect's residence, and with the help of the Virginia State Police, we cleared the house. We have reason to believe that there's no risk to the public at this time.
Right now, police are not identifying the gunman and said it's because his next of kin have not been notified. Investigators say he used a handgun to carry out the mass shooting, but a motive is unknown. That's something detectives are working to learn more.
Update, Larry, the guy, the assailant in Colorado that got his ass beat by one gay guy and one guy that was ex-military. He came to court today to be arraigned, and Larry, when I tell you, they beat the fuck out of this dude. I mean, it literally looked like his face was a Z. Picture a white dude whose face is like kind of congruent. Larry, they beat the snot out this guy. He's not going to get bail. He's under the bus. He's going to get justice, I think. Yeah. This dude right here in Virginia,
he's gone.
He was a black guy, manager at the Walmart. 5 of the 6 people he killed were black. One white lady got on the news and said that he looked at her and told her to go. But they don't know his motive. They're holding a vehicle for evidence that they think has something to do with this. And as of right now, no one knows why. They say he was smiling, laughing, and giggling just minutes before the shooting happened. So my question to you, Big Larry, is America going to be able to do anything about these mass shootings? Because it's getting to the point now where it's happening in so many places. It's happened here in Raleigh. It was about to happen in Greensboro. That's where this last dude was at. It's happening near you. It's happening in Texas. It's happening in Orlando. It's just happening. And we're supposed to be the greatest nation on the planet. And we have the most mass shooting of any organized place on the planet Earth. What are we going to do?
Oh, man.
Shout out to Grillo.
Yeah. I wish I had an answer for that. What we're gonna do, man? If I had an answer for that, I guess I'd run for office. But man, I really don't know. It seems it's just tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. It just keeps happening. It doesn't seem like there's any end to it. And we just I don't know, man. I'm stumped because every time I hear about one of these things, I'm just like, man, why are these people just keep killing folks? And they said that the dude like the dude went in there and apparently he went right into the break room and just started blasting folks in the break room. So there was obviously something that was going on in there that with them. And the whole thing about I didn't hear the thing about he was just laughing a few minutes later, but a few minutes earlier. But sometimes when people are laughing, I've been in situations and I've had it happen to me. I've done it to other people where you're joking and making fun of somebody or teasing somebody and everybody there is laughing, including that person, but they're not really laughing. They're not feeling good inside. They're laughing because they don't want to cry, or they're laughing because they don't want to get mad or show their anger. They're laughing because they're uncomfortable. It doesn't mean they're laughing because they're happy about that situation. So when the dude goes and gets his gun and comes back and shoots everybody up, you could say he was laughing just a few minutes earlier and make it seem like the dude was just crazy and had some sort of split personality, but it really was just he was laughing because he was uncomfortable, and now he was upset and went and got his guns and came back and killed people. I mean, the problem is, though, still, I mean, it's like we have access to so many guns, and I'm not saying that taking all the guns away will fix everything, because there's been other incidences we've heard about, places all over the world where they have mass stabbings and there's people that have gotten on the trains in Japan with machetes and swords and just start hacking people to death. And there's been all kinds of craziness that's happened. But man, when you have more guns in this country than people, I mean, they're gonna get used.
Not only that, Larry, but of those guns, 20% of the American population owns the majority of those guns.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
20% of the population in the United States controls most of these guns. So, and you know who they are. So when you see most of these mass shootings, it ain't hard to tell who's doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, when they showed this boy's pictures, I was actually shocked he was black until I heard he was dead. So immediately I thought, well, the police shot him, so he was black. But no, he took his own life. The only thing we can do is somebody at some point in time has got to come up with some kind of shielding electromagnetic technology that people can just easily clip on their belt and provide them some kind of electromagnetic shield, so that when something comes at you with a certain amount of velocity, it can just stop it. Because if not, there's too many people making so much money off of poor folks who spend their whole damn Christmas and tax money on buying guns that I don't think we're going to ever be able to overcome this until new technology comes out.
No,
and I'm glad that this guy only had a revolver. He didn't have an M16. He didn't have any one of those kind of high magazine rifles, which we need to eliminate that. He only had a revolver, because had he had something higher power, he could have shot up the break room, ran out there, started shooting up the customers. He could have done a lot of stuff, which is the difference between a machete, a car, a butter knife, a regular knife, a 6-shooter. That's the difference between that and something that has the capacity to do more damage in a few short amount of seconds.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know, man. I was going to say something. I lost my point, and I don't know. I have mixed feelings about all this stuff as far as guns. I know some people think you should just get rid of them. I don't think you should personally get rid of all the guns, and maybe they should make it more difficult. What I was going to say earlier is that I know that when we look at our country, I look at sort of our prison industrial complex as sort of a replacement for our factory jobs. And we had a system in this country where poor, uneducated white men could go get jobs in factories, and they can do repetitive work that's just do this, do that, turn this knob. 10,000 times a day, and they can make a decent living at it. They don't have that anymore because the factories have been moved overseas. They don't have these mining jobs anymore because they found more efficient ways of doing it, and they closed them. And so now you have them. They took all those white males, they moved them into the prison industrial complex, and they decided, well, we'll just lock up black and brown people, and we'll give the white men these jobs. Well, we want to get away from that because we don't want to have a prison industrial complex. I believe most people probably don't want that. One way you could employ these people is to basically create little TSA check stations everywhere we go. If you want to go to Walmart, if you want to go to Target, if you want to go to the movies, if you want to go to the shopping mall, then you put those check stations at every entrance, and you have to go through the magnetometers, and you have to go get checked. And if you're carrying a gun or a knife or whatever else, you need to turn yourself around, go put it in the car. And if you live in a place like I do in Virginia, I think it's the same way in North Carolina, where we live in a very gun-friendly state where you have open carry laws, so you can walk around with a AR-15 on your back or a Glock 9mm on your hip, and it's completely legal. But they need to make it so if you want to go into a public space like a shopping mall or something, that you can't carry that. You can carry it if you want to walk down the street with it. If you want to if you want to go for a stroll through your neighborhood and carry your gun, go for it. You know, if you work for yourself and you want to carry it on the job, go for it. If you want to go for a hike, carry it as all you want, as long as you can do it in a state park or a county park or a federal park, which most of them don't allow it anyways. But my point being is, hire all those people. Let's get rid of the prison industrial complex. We can rehire all those prison guards and all those white uneducated males. We can hire them to basically be the TSA of whatever, of Kmart or Walmart or Target or Costco or wherever, and make sure that people are safe when they're in there.
Last but not least, number 2, 3 T's that don't go together. And again, we're not talking about Michael Jackson's nephews, the 3T singing group. We're talking about Trump, taxes, and Twitter. Larry, that punk ass Elon Musk has allowed Trump to get back on Twitter. And I can recall telling you he would do it.
Yeah, we knew it was coming. We
knew it was coming. So Trump now faces a lot of backlash from Republicans trying to run away from him. Even Ron DeSantis is trying to run away from Trump as he's about to get back on Twitter. And we'll take a look at this clip. And when we come back, I'll tell you guys what my problem is with Trump getting on Twitter. Here we go.
Former President Donald Trump, the only declared candidate in the 2024 race so far, seizing the spotlight at the Republican Jewish Conference in Las Vegas this weekend.
The Republican Party is a much bigger, more powerful party than it was before I got there.
But this morning, several potential Republican challengers are making clear they're not planning to let Mr. Trump take the nomination without a fight.
We've accomplished more over a 4-year period than anybody thought possible. But I can tell you this, we've got a lot more to do, and I have only begun to fight.
And while Florida Governor Ron DeSantis did not take on Mr. Trump directly, other possible candidates did, arguing that his lies about the 2020 election and support for candidates who would repeat them led to disappointing Republican results in the midterms.
We keep losing and losing and losing. And the fact of the matter is, the reason we're losing is because Donald Trump has put himself before everybody else.
We have to find people who are putting themselves forward, who have character, commitment, and real competence. Personality and celebrity just aren't going to get it done.
Nikki Haley, Mr. Trump's former UN ambassador, also teasing a run against her former boss.
When people underestimate me, it's always fun. But I've never lost an election, and I'm not going to start now.
Mr. Trump received one potential boost this weekend, the reinstatement of his Twitter account, suspended amid concerns of how it might be used after January 6th. Twitter's new CEO, Elon Musk, welcomed him back after a poll. Earlier, Trump indicating he would not leave his own social network for Twitter.
I don't see it because I don't see any reason for it.
Boy. Larry, let me just say it like this. Number one, those people running for the Republican seat now had no problem kissing Trump's ass when he was the president. He talked pure tea shit about Nikki Haley. He talked pure tea junk about how fat Christie was, told her he needed to go eat a pizza. And he talked junk about Ron DeSantis just last week. And now all of a sudden you're trying to act like we need to run from him. Stop it. You can't. That brand and part of the Republican Party that a lot of us have always said is there. Oh, it's staying with you. And it's going to prevent you from winning. That's why you see the Republicans cheating so much, gerrymandering votes, restricting the time people can vote, because they know that their policies are not going to get it. But in terms of Trump getting back on Twitter, it's not Trump being on Twitter that's the problem, Larry. It's the brainless people that listen to what he says and follows it verbatim. Floor is yours. It's not Trump. I mean, because you could put any Joe Blow that says stupid stuff on any platform. You should have the cognitive didactiveness to overcome it and not fall for it. But Trump, for whatever reason, he dog whistles to the people that want to hear it, and they eat it up like it's beef jerky on a late Saturday night, and the grocery store is closed. Floor is yours, Larry.
Yeah. The funny thing is that, you know, everybody was shocked. Like when Trump actually got the nomination, or when he was running the first time, everybody was talking about him, and they were all of these people that were never Trumpers and all this stuff. And then he won the nomination. Then you started to see half of that group fade away. Then all of a sudden they were like, oh gosh, well, I guess we have to support him. He's the Republican candidate. And people started supporting him, thinking maybe they can control him. Maybe they can, maybe they can get him to calm down. Maybe all his bombasticness was just a way of trying to win the nomination. But then they realized, oh no, this is really who he is. And then they all fell in line and kissed the ring. And then once he was out of power, then you start hearing people starting to go against the grain a little bit. And now after the midterms, when it looks like a lot of his backed candidates lost, at least the ones that were in places where they had real challenges, a lot of his people won because they were in districts that a Republican was going to win anyways, regardless of who endorsed them. But the places where his candidates were really had a significant challenge, they all lost except for J.D. Vance. That was it. And J.D. Vance
and North Carolina too. I don't know how people keep forgetting this empty suit we got here, but Ted Budd is the only guy who owns a gun shop, walks around his campaign speeches with his damn gun on his hip. He was endorsed heavily by Trump too. But go ahead.
So, it's one of those things. It's like now they're all trying to run away from him again. And they're all sound like the same old never Trumpers that they had the first time that he was running. And no one buys it. No one's buying it. Everybody, it's like, you guys are all a bunch of frauds and phonies. And if Trump gets elected again, you guys are all going to fall right back in line with all of the same bullshit that you did before. That's just the bottom line. It doesn't, if it looks like he's going to lose, you guys will keep on with the same old stuff that you're saying right now. And if it looks like he's going to win, you guys are going to fall right into place and say, oh, Trump's going to get stuff done. Trump's going to do this. Trump's going to do that. You guys are all going to fall back in line. The Republicans are just a bunch of spineless nothings. They are just, I mean, you talk about leadership. There is no leadership in the Republican Party. I mean, that's really what it is. There is no leadership in the Republican Party. They're a bunch of spineless nothings. And Trump is out there just doing what he wants to do. And these other people they are going along to get along because they just want to try and hold on to whatever little power they have instead of actually being the true leaders that their people elected them to be.
I would beg to differ that they are being exactly what their people want them to be. When you keep electing people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and having Herschel Walker being so close to Raphael Warnock, the people are telling you what they want. They want dummies in office. Yeah. They're telling you. And it's a shame, but
I just don't get that. It's like this. I mean, people were upset before when Obama was elected. They were upset about the fact they thought that, oh, well, he thinks he's better because he's so smart. He's this, he's that. He went to these fancy schools and he's educated and blah, blah, blah. They were upset that he was smart. And I always thought, like, why does this make sense? Why does that doesn't make any sense? People were upset about Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton the same way. They've been upset about other folks when they're smart. And I'm like, why are you upset about that? Why do you want to vote for someone like George Bush, who said he was a C student at best? Why do you want to vote for someone like Donald Trump, who they're not even sure actually graduated from his own college, that they're looking into his degree, like maybe he faked his senior thesis or something? It's like, why do you want someone dumb? Like, even if you think you're dumb, why do you want the dumb leading the dumb? I want the very smartest, most intelligent, most articulate, most sophisticated person that I can find to run this nation.
No, there you go with your Harvard elite education. No, I don't have an education past high school. I do factory work. I'm electrician. I'm a plumber. I ain't getting no damn education past college, and I don't need no damn educated people running me. I just need no taxes taken out of my check. I need to be free market capitalism turned unloose. And furthermore, I'm tired of all you black people getting all this education, leveling the playing field for the white privilege that I've been getting for all these years because y'all got all them damn degrees. Yeah, Larry, that's what they're saying.
The crazy thing is, all these people that are running around talking about they want, and I say these people that are non-multimillionaire billionaires that are running around talking about they want free market capitalism. They don't know what free market capitalism looks like. And if they did know what it looks like, they would not even come close to wanting it. I mean, if you look at back in the day when you had these old tenement systems and you had factories where they were paying people next to nothing and there were no unions, that's all free market capitalism. You were able to pay for the labor as low of a price as you could possibly get because they were desperate and they needed jobs, they needed to feed their families, and they were in the millionaire class, the moneyed class were able to get away with murder. There were so many people that were dying and being injured on the job. There was no insurance, there was no workers' compensation, none of that stuff, because they didn't need it, because we lived in a so-called free market capitalist society and there were no protections. All the protections that we have today, all of these things like unemployment insurance and workers' compensation and all these other things, Social Security, all these things came about because of the failings of our free market capitalist system. We realized at some point we have to roll this back. We have to put some safety nets in place. Otherwise, our society cannot function optimally. And when you start to tear those safety nets away, our society starts to crumble along with it. And that's what we're seeing happen now.
And ladies and gentlemen, we once said that they would come for you ladies' ovaries. Y'all said, no way, don't let that happen. Well, damn it, you saw what the Supreme Court did. Next, that Social Security that them old folks love, they retire, go down to Florida, sip on Kool-Aid, and don't be wearing no shirts, and women too. They coming for your Social Security and retirement, ladies. You better keep an eye on these guys. They want to do whatever they can to give the rich further tax breaks, and Social Security is a huge burden that they blew the money that should have been growing for you in the first place. So just keep that in mind, okay? Just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Me and Larry are going to end this thing on a palate cleanser, something good. Larry, Creed 3 comes out March 3rd. And you want to talk about a man that keep a damn job. I mean, my goodness. You got Michael B. Jordan, and his counterpart in the movie is Jonathan
Majors.
Jonathan Majors. This boy keep jobs. Do you hear me? He's in a movie that's coming out next week. He's Kang in the MCU. He's doing this Creed thing. I mean, damn, dude. You sure enough got more jobs than Tommy. But let's take a look at this Creed 3 trailer and see what you guys think. Looks good to me. Larry, that looked good as hell, but we know how it's going to end. Apollo Creed ain't losing. But the journey to see Jonathan Major's arc in this story. Looks like it is going to be fire. For me, Larry, I will be getting early tickets and reviewing that for sure.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. He looks like, it's funny when we were talking about it on our thread, and I think B sent out some it was either B or E, man. Somebody sent out some it might have been you. I don't know. Somebody sent out some stills. Yeah, that right there, the movie stills. And, and I said it looked like he ate magic. Because I was thinking about dude from what was the other show he had on HBO?
Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country. So he definitely did not look like that in Lovecraft Country. It looked like the brother had 8 magic right there, because that is like a serious body transformation. But it looks good. It reminds me like his not that the character has the same story, but like the way they're sort of presenting the story between the two characters. It reminds me sort of the showdown between Rocky and Clubber Lang. So you kind of have the big brute that everybody's afraid of. He's in the ring, practically killing people. It reminds me of sort of the whole Clubber Lang sort of face off.
Okay, so day one for you.
Maybe. I mean, I'm going to see it definitely. I don't know if I'm not going to commit to day one, but I'm going to see it. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be reviewing that early. Okay, so keep your notifications on. Don't forget to like the video, download the podcast. That'll be up literally in about 30 minutes. Follow me and Larry on social media, on Instagram and Twitter. And Larry, do you got anything going on your channel for the people over this holiday weekend? I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, I'm working on a few videos. I have some stuff coming up. The Sigma, I don't know if any of you are photographers out there, but Sigma, the camera company and lens company, they sent me a nice tech drop. I just unboxed yesterday with the camera and about 3 new lenses and stuff. So I'll be reviewing that. I'm trying to get it done tonight. I have a gift guide giveaway video that I'm going to be doing where I have some products that I think will make for great Christmas gifts. I have 5 of them that I'm going to put on the list, and each one of them I actually have 2 of them of each. So I'm going to give one of them away. I'll do an unboxing and show the product for one, and then I'll give the other one away. So yeah, and I'm going to do a couple of those Christmas gift list and gift guides throughout the holidays. So if you're looking for something, I'll have a few of those coming up.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want you guys to be safe. If you're traveling, just be safe, because people is idiots on the road, man. People just driving fast for no damn reason. I mean, damn, do we need to go back to the day of Flintstones where you drive the car with your feet or something? I mean, my goodness, just slow down, be careful, enjoy your family, enjoy football. Go ahead, Larry.
And not just when you're driving. If you're out there, I think it's the country as a whole. Maybe it's the world as a whole, but I know it's in this country. People the holidays are already a very emotional time for a lot of people. And this country's already has a lot of tension going on. It feels like we're at a boiling point almost sometimes. So when you go to the grocery store, when you stop by the 7-Eleven because you forgot to get some whipping cream or something, you need to stop by wherever to get something. You go get some gas and somebody swoops in and takes your pump, in front of you. Let that stuff go. There's too many people out there that are on edge, that are just waiting for an excuse to pull out a gun or pull out a knife or run you over. There's too many people out there just waiting to hurt somebody because they're angry about everything else in their life and they're looking for someone to take it out on. And just, keep your head on a swivel. You don't want to go to a Walmart, because I hate to say it, but I am almost willing to guarantee you there's going to be a Black Friday massacre somewhere. Someone's going to be there at a outdoor mall and someone's going to get run down. There's going to be somebody who runs people down in their cars, or someone's going to go into a crowded, shopping mall or Walmart or Best Buy and shoot some people up. So just keep your head on a swivel,
Follow the man's advice. Download the Life Game podcast. Take us on the road and listen. Till that next Sexy as Hell video, we'll see you.